Hey guys, how you doing? For this intro here, I just wanted to let you guys know that this is probably going to be my last video on this channel, at least for quite some time. I've really, I haven't been taking any more work. I'm kind of getting down to the very bottom of what I got here, and I've got other things I need to focus on right now. So, and I'm sure you guys have noticed that the videos have been few and far between, and I just want to let you know this will probably be the last video, if not, ever, then for a good amount of time on this channel. But I do want to say that it's been fun. I enjoyed all the comments and talking with you guys, and all the messages that I've gotten and stuff, and discussions I've had with a lot of you. All the machines that you guys have sent in for service or restoration, it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun doing it. And like I said, on my page, on my Facebook page, which I'll link below, I do have a list of other people that are doing restorations. I don't believe they're putting up videos, but they are doing restorations. So if you need something done, you can contact any of them. Any of the fine folks on that list there. I think there's 3 of them I got on that list now, and they've all been vetted and they do a good job. But in the meantime, I do have another channel that I've had for a while, and I just put up different things on there, cars, computers, whatever, whatever I happened to be thinking around with at the time. So if you guys want to pop over there, subscribe to me over there, and just give me a shout, say hey, what's up, how's it going, or say hi. Then I'll be happy to hear from you guys. But yeah, thanks again. For all the machines that have been sent in, all the comments and discussions that we had, and all that. It's been a lot of fun. So I just want to thank you guys for that, and give you guys a heads up. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Hey guys, I got something a little different today. This is a Model 12 that I restored a couple years ago, and it looks, by the looks of it, it looks like it's been pretty well used for 2 years. And the issue that it has is you plug it in and you turn it on and it does nothing. I've already pulled the cord connection cover off and checked the cord connection, and the cord connection is good. So I think there may be an issue in here with the speed control, and I believe it's probably the little plastic part on the back of the speed control where the pin from the armature goes through. It probably heated up and just melted right through it. So I think what we're going to do is just start taking it apart and checking out everything in here. Try and get an idea of what's wrong with it and how it happened. And then of course we'll fix it. Yeah, you can see, man, there's a thick layer of flour in here. So yeah, this thing has been used. It's good to see these things get used like this. That's what they were made to do. So we're just going to go through and pop our parts out of here. And it looks like the resistor, we'll test this, it looks like the resistor's gotten quite warm. And this capacitor, just covered with a layer of grunge on there. Alright. I'm also going to take these brushes out of here because I'm not sure if we're going to have to pull the armature out of here or not. So just in case. Where's my slot? There we go. So yeah, just in case we do, we'll get the brushes out now. No, that brush didn't want to come out. Alright, and then we'll also pull the front. We'll take a look at how the grease is doing in here after 2 years of pretty heavy use by the looks of it. I'm quite curious to see how the grease that we use is holding up in here. So let's go ahead and get to our speed control on here and see if that's actually the issue. And then we'll of course get all these parts cleaned up again before we put it back together. I need to remagnetize my screwdriver here. All right, well, does not appear that's the problem. And it doesn't appear that the switches are the problem either. Hey dog, let yourself in? Isis is coming to say hi. She opened up the door, so now we're here to watch her. There, hopefully the sound of the washer will stay out there. Yeah, you know what, we're going to go through and we're going to pull the armature out. We're going to take a look at everything here and try to figure out what is going on. I'm going to go gather the rest of my tools. Alright. Alright, good news is, you can see there's no grease leaking out or oil leaking out of there. Everything's still nice and clean. You got a little bit of debris down in there, but it's just from use. Let's pop this. We gotta pop this cover off because we don't want to lose a little plastic tip that's in there that pushes against the end of the armature. If we were just to pull the armature out by leaving this on, it would pull that plastic tip out just because it would be stuck to it with the grease, and it would fall off inside the gearbox. We'd have to take this off anyways. And I wanted to get a good look at the grease in here. Oh, it's raining again. Looks like giant drops. I don't know if you guys hear that in the background or not. Alright, let's take a little peek in here. Grease looks really good. Looks like it's the same consistency. Yeah. Man, it all looks good in here. So it's good to know that this grease does a good job holding up over time. Alright, so you can see there's a little plastic piece I was talking about right there. That's a piece we don't want to lose. Alright, so let's continue our tear down here. Alright. Well, the armature still looks good too. You can just see, I mean, it's not worn, just got the coloring from the carbon on the brushes. This all looks good other than being dirty. So, it is time to try to figure out what is not making a connection here. And for that, we use our multimeter. And we'll just set it to listen for the beep so that when we've got a, when we know something's closed, we'll get a beep. If it's open, we won't get a beep at all. And I'll start here. One of these should be connected to here. There we go. Okay, and that one should be connected to an end of the cord. Just not that end. Okay, so we're good there. Let's check the other end of the cord. So we find the right end here. Alright, so it seems everything's making a good connection here. So that does take us back to here. Yep, this is the problem right here. Let's take a good look at this. You can tell that's gotten hot right there. So if you look here, there's supposed to be, well, here, let me do it like this. There's supposed to be more to this, and it's got a contact point on the end, and on the other side of here where that rivet is, there's a contact point, and that's where it makes contact. Every time it makes contact, the motor spins. Well, you can tell it looks like it's broken off right there, which meant it's probably floating around inside the under the cap somewhere, and it may have come out. But you see, for a while it was only making contact right here where you can tell it was arcing. So that broke off. So yep, it wasn't a part that I thought on the speed control, but it was definitely part of the speed control. So we got to replace the speed control unit. But at least we got to take a look inside here and see how everything looked after 2 years of pretty hard use. And actually it looks pretty good. Aside from the flower buildup, which is to be expected, it looks quite good. So let's get another speed control from the parts bin. Alright, as you see, we got it all back together. Had to scrounge around and found my last good speed control. So unfortunately I'm fresh out, and the only way to get more is actually to would be for me to actually go on like eBay and try and find some parts machines or whatever, and yeah, I'm just not going through that, especially since this is, this is probably gonna be my last video. And taking a look at this, I mean, it's hard to tell. I did have to replace the resistor too, because the resistor was bad, and you can tell I got it all prepped to put a 180 ohm 5 watt in there, and I'm out. I'm completely out, and I was buying them in bulk, and now I can't find those anymore. So I did have a 10 watt, but it doesn't fit inside here. So I got the 10 watt resistor in there now, which is really what should go in there. It's just the ones I find are longer, and I can't put the heat shield on, which is good because now it gets the heat directly over the resistor. And the other thing with these things too is with parts getting harder to find, you got to really be easy on them. You got to do the maintenance on them. Make sure they're lubricated. These the bushings in the front and back here were bone dry. You're supposed to put like a drop of oil on each one of these holes once a month. The grease in the front looked good still. The cord connection, all the wiring and everything was still good on it. But unfortunately, the resistor that was in there, that it would have tested good 2 years ago when I did it, it did end up failing. And that was back before I was actually rebuilding these, and really had no other alternative other than to put used good resistors in there. But it seems like this is about the time where they're all starting to fail. So yeah, I mean, it happens. These were replaceable parts at one time. What are you gonna do? It's like brake pads on a car. They got to be replaced every now and then. But if they stop making brake pads for your car, you'd be kind of screwed and have to kind of retrofit something on there. So I think either the resistor went and this thing was just arcing like crazy and just burnt that right off of there, or because this is just like a little piece of spring steel on there, it could have just wore out and just cracked and fell right off of there. It's hard to say. I'm noticing, looking in here, you should see, right on the other side of that, you should see a decent contact point in there, and there's nothing. It's gone. So I think the resistor just failed. This thing just arced itself to death right here, which is what happens, if you have a bad resistor. They will arc themselves to death, and a lot of times though, this piece will just end up welding itself to that, and it'll just run at full speed all the time. This one looks like it just broke off. So, but we replaced this. We got a good one in there now, and let's go ahead and fire it up and give it a listen to. Alright, so as you can tell, it runs like new again. But just a couple points to keep in mind for all you guys out there. Parts are getting harder to find on these, so you do gotta take them easy. Take it easy on them. On your low speeds, you know, number one being the most aggressive, and then number two, and it gets less as it goes up, is when it really puts the most heat on your resistor in here, and also does the most arcing. And the resistor and the capacitor are supposed to control the arcing, but there still is, you know, a little bit. So you want to run these at your lowest speeds here as little as possible. You know, like number one just says to add dry ingredients and folding. So, you know, just you know, put your dry ingredients in and turn it on just enough to fold everything together, and then shut it off. Don't, you know, leave it running for a couple minutes on these lower speeds here, and you'll extend the life of your Mixmaster. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. Like I said, if parts are easy to find, but they're getting harder and harder to find all the time. I drop oil in both of these holes once a month, and then occasionally just one right alongside the inside of this juicer port to run down. That one's not as critical because it does, you know, get a slight layer of the grease. We'll get up in there and lubricate that. But mainly these right here, these two holes right there are the most important on it. And don't run them at low speeds for very long. You know, I had this thing going for like 5 minutes on one, and it got very hot. But that's not normal. You shouldn't be running them at, you know, for 5 minutes on there. But I do that just to make sure everything is good on it, and it's gonna be all right. So yeah, this one sounds good now. We're gonna go ahead and pack up and send back to the owner. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. And like I said, this will probably be the last video, at least for quite a while. So I appreciate, you know, all you guys that have viewed these and commented on them and stuff, and every one of you that has sent a project in that I could do and get a video up. I appreciate it greatly. It's been a real blast. If I ever do, you know, if I ever do get, you know, get back in this, decide to start doing a lot more of these, I will certainly start posting more videos again for you guys. But for now, I think all I'm going to do is just, you know, post some videos on my other channel every now and then, and I'll leave a link for that down below. And you know, you guys can check that out if you're into that sort of thing. But I'll also check back every now and then to, you know, answer any questions or comments that you guys got. So, all right, guys, as always, thanks again, and enjoy your summer.